What is the game state? If you are a game developer, you may be familiar with this definition, but if not, let me show you. This is my definition of what is a game state. To me, the game state is a change in the context of the game, and it can provide information or change the mechanics of the game at a certain point or time of the same game. Let me give you an example. If you are playing but then you just pause the game, you won't be able to move the character anymore. The collisions won't be executed, the enemies won't attack you because it's like the game is paused, right? The game is still running in the loop, but the game state it's paused instead of playing. If I change from the pause to the playing, then we may be able to move the character again, to check the collisions, and so on. There are so many states in a game, infinite, and they can be created by you depending on the context of your game or depending on the functionality you want. For instance, if you want to load the texture sphere, that can be an state of your game. It's loading assets or loading data or retrieving data. If you want to make a call to a service to retrieve some data, in the case you have networking features. If you are in an online game or multiplayer game, you may be sending data from your game to the server, and it can be anything, right? Another state can be loading a new level to make a transition between one screen to another, and many stuff. Even you can have another state like can be showing UI or something like that. It can be anything, right? With that in mind, we can add several, or in this case we need a game state in our code. If I go to the beginning, I'm going to create some variables or constant that I am going to use them as a game state. I think I need 4 of them. Const state playing. I need another to be starting. Another state starting. I'm gonna make context of them. There will be numbers. I need another state that it will when I lose or when I have a game over. Game over, and another to have to know when I win the game. One when I won the game. Okay, so that's gonna be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those states are just numbers, right? But we don't have any specific usage here. So I'm gonna create a variable. Game state. By default, I'm gonna start with starting. This, right? That will be my initial game state. If you remember, when we refresh the browser, the ball starts moving to one side or another. We don't want that. We want to wait until I press maybe the space button in the keyboard, and then we can start the game. If I go to my code here I have the input. What is that? Here, the input. Right here in the input, when I have the key down events, I am looking for the key up events. So I'm gonna add a new one here. And it will be for the space, right? When I release the space button, I want to change the game state I want to change that to state playing. And I'm gonna also execute the piece of the code here for moving the ball when it starts, when the game starts. So this will be our kickoff right for the game when I just press the button. But I need to check if the game state equals state starting, I can release the space button and I can change the state from starting to playing. I'm going to change that state, but I'm going to also start the game. How can I start that? I'm going to start moving the ball at that point. And we have our random. Here, this is it, right? So if we are in the state starting, and I use state playing, and I just have the state playing here, I'm gonna change that code here, and I'm going to right. So I'm gonna start the game with this here. While I am in starting, I won't be able, the ball won't have to move. If I go to our update function here, so here I'm gonna handle the game, the state. I'm gonna create a switch. And so on. Okay, maybe I'm not going to use all of them, but I'm just putting all here to show you how it can be. So we have the state starting, playing, game over, and won. So I just want to execute my updates when I'm playing. Not anymore. Not anymore when I'm just running the game endlessly, but when I'm playing. If I am not playing, I won't change anything here, and I won't do any update at all. Only when I'm playing. That's my game state. Right? So when my context change, I'm gonna start changing the mechanics. Well, I am starting the game. I just have an option to release my space button on the keyboard and start the game, to change the state to playing, and once I'm playing I can start moving the ball. Let me see if that works here, right? So if I refresh again, so the ball is not moving. If I release the space button, it starts to move because I changed the state. That's why the game state, it's important.